And if you are getting thoughts, let those thoughts come in. Don't
Mm-hmm.
fight those thoughts. It's like if you're throwing a pebble in the water and you're seeing those ripples, notice the ripples and let them fade and continue forward. Just connect to your breathing, notice that breath. Allow yourself to feel comfortable, prop up, because that's something else. A lot of people aren't connected to what it actually feels to feel comfortable.
Hello, everyone. All right. So Dan and Elise here. And today's Deep Life episode, we are with Daisy. We're so excited to have our first guest for the Deep Life series. Daisy is a wealth of knowledge with anything health and wellness related. She's a yoga teacher. She's studying to be an Ayurvedic doctor. She's got a lot going on, which is so exciting. But today we are diving deep in meditation because this is one of her expertise. So welcome, Daisy.
Hi, thank you so much.
Thank you for joining us. We are so excited to have you. You have helped us with our meditation practice last year when we began, kind of bumping up our meditation. We've been through it for many years. We kind of done it in small increments, and now we do really long meditations. And you helped us with our area. You gave us great tips on how to practice and
very helpful
where to sit. So let's jump in and dive into how you began your practice and what prompted you to begin meditating and how long you've been doing it for.
Okay. Oh my goodness. So I started meditating around the same time that I started just practicing yoga. And it was during a difficult time in my life. And I basically just couldn't get out of my head. And that's when I was invited to my very first yoga class. And just being in the room with everybody just breathing in and out in a flow was meditative for me.
Oh my gosh.
And yeah. And then I was on and off, kind of like we just talked about, on and off until a few years later, another difficult moment in my life happened and I got that pull. And I've kind of been doing that since 2015. So it was during the passing of my mom. And since then, that was when okay, I really need to get out of my head because it's just, there's a lot happening there and it's causing a lot of grief. So since 2015 is when I've been practicing my meditation, different meditations and everything. So
that's actually, I think that's when we began too.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
It's 2015 or 16. And I'm so sorry about your mother passing. I hope that you're able to find some peace with the meditation because it's so true. Dan kind of I don't want to say made me start meditating, but he definitely prompted it, right?
I think that was definitely a big part of it. And your story kind of sounds really familiar to me as far as the going in and out of it. I think it's so interesting when you find that even the first few times that you do the meditation, you notice, oh, wow, this is significant. This is something good. And then for some reason, you still find yourself drifting away from it and going back. And I know I was that way where it's back and forth for a while, every once in a while. And I'm like, oh, I need a little something. And it took, probably a year or two to start to have it start becoming an everyday thing.
Yeah, I would say the same too. Cause like you said, us in a society, we're kind of conditioned to be busy, right? We're busybodies. We want our head to be filled with distractions, whether that's, playing video games or just on our phone, scrolling through anything, social media or watching TV and movies. And I was that way too. I'm so in my head and I'm still to this day in my head, but meditation brings us such a calming effect. Did you find it to be really easy to jump into it right away? Because it took me, I think, probably close to a year to really calm my mind.
It's funny. I started with guided meditations online.
Yep.
Yeah. Yep. And I did find it difficult to find that sense of peace or that calmness. What I was noticing most for me was I was sitting cross-legged just on the floor And I kept on kind of moving back and forth, back and forth. I'm like, what is
Yeah.
this? What's going on? So my attention was going to trying to figure out what was going on rather than finding that peace.
Totally. Yes, absolutely. Yeah. It's again that distraction. I think that that's what I had reached out to you to help us with, because as we progressed to, we did the same thing. We did guided meditation. Have you ever heard of Headspace, the app called Headspace?
Yeah, yeah.
That's what we started with Andy. I kind of love his voice.
Yeah.
It's so calming. But then after a year and stuff, we started like, okay, now I can calm my thoughts. I kind of just want music. And we switched to doing like binaural beats and very like calming, just nature sounds. And as we progressed too, we began sitting with our legs crossed in that space, and our hips and legs and knees were becoming so tight. I was like, help me, Daisy, how do I get out of this, rut? Like, where do I go? So actually, I'd love for you to tell our followers and who is going to watch this, like what the advice that you gave us to help with that, because it helped tremendously.
Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, a lot of times, for the most part, I mean, you guys teach this, right? Where our hips, for the most
Yes.
part, are very, very tight in general. We're either sitting for so long, we're walking, we're doing a lot of strength training, and that creates a lot of tension in those muscles. So we're not really used to sitting cross-legged for long periods of time. And I just want to do a side note. You don't need to meditate cross-legged.
Sure,
So
absolutely.
that's one thing. Like you can sit on a chair, you can go lay down, walk even. It doesn't really in that case. And we can go into that later. But basically what you want to do is elevate your hips. So elevate your hips and allow for your knees to become lower than your hips. That's point number one. And that will help alleviate that tension. And that will allow you to sit there a little bit longer. Now, if you are noticing that maybe your feet are getting uncomfortable, maybe you're right on hardwood floor, then feel free to grab a blanket, maybe put a couple of cushions underneath your knees, whatever makes you feel okay. So that would be like the main thing. And then if you're noticing that your back is just becoming a little bit either uncomfortable or tense, maybe your lower back, feel free just to put your back up against the wall. Like, you don't have to be like super, super tall and just like this, because that's where your attention is going to go. It's going to go to the area that feels the most tension.
It's so true. As soon as we propped up and put like a little bit more of pillows and harder cushions under our bum area and had that above our knees, life-changing. It was so great.
And then it gets better over time too. I know when I started, I was like a stack of pillows, and then my feet were on a stack of pillows. I'm like kind of all over the place, but it does, like over time, you just get better and a lot more comfortable with it.
Yeah,
it takes practice. It's a practice.
It is,
absolutely. And it's also, like, I feel like it's so helpful to know that you really can't do it wrong.
Exactly.
So I think that, like, if you're forcing yourself into a position for meditation, or just forcing yourself into meditation in general, you're going to kind of miss out.
Yeah,
when you can relax and just know that you're right, it helped a lot. So it was very helpful to hear that. Just relax more, get some comfortable pillows, then you're good.
Yeah, exactly. And like you said, there's no right or wrong way to do it. And I mean, there's so many benefits that come with meditation. I feel like it's kind of in the there's a lot of fads that go on in the health and wellness industry. And I feel like meditation was a fad for a really long time. And people overlook like how beneficial it really is to calm your mind. So let's talk about that. And let's hear your thoughts on like how much benefits it comes with meditating.
Oh, absolutely. So, I mean, just calming your mind in general will give you a sense of peace. We are living in a society where everything is go, go, go. It's the more you can pack in your day, the more you are perceived to be successful. And a lot of times we live in that. We believe that.
Yes.
But if you take a step back, you can get so much more done when you have that sense of peace, because you're able to prioritize what actually truly matters. So, benefits, like even internal benefits, we've got like the digestive system. Let's talk about that.
Yeah.
We are connected, like the mind and the body, it's not separate from each other. They are one, they are connected. So if you're working on your body, you're helping your mind. If you're working on your mind, you're helping your body. So you've got like all these little microbiomes that are happening in your belly they change like every minute, if not every second, depending on the thoughts that you bring to into your mind. So being able to actually take that moment at the beginning of the day, ideally, but if not throughout the day or even at night, just to work with that, being able to bring that sense of ease and breath, just listening to your breathing helps with even your digestive system, with how you're actually drawing in those nutrients into your body. There's so much more that I can talk about.
Yeah.
We'll do follow-ups. But you're okay. I mean, we could not agree more. The mind-body connection is something that like we feel like so passionately about. It's amazing. And it's a great stress relief. I mean, it's going to calm your nerves or anything. And we're kind of the same way. We start our morning with the meditation. But yeah, if you can do it even, you know, an hour or two after you wake up in the middle of the day, sometimes I'll even do one in the morning and at night, just because I love it so much now, because it's such a peace of mind. It helps me fall asleep so peacefully.
Yeah. And doing it at night will help you fall asleep. So if there's anybody watching that has difficulty falling asleep, or even, I would even go ahead and even say somebody that struggles with insomnia.
Yes.
Do a short meditation before bed and see how it goes. Practice for about a week, 2 weeks, see how you feel.
Absolutely. And like you said, I love that word. It does take practice. No one's asking, you know, people who are beginning a meditation practice to be experts at first. You know, we weren't by any means.
Still aren't.
And still aren't. And we're just like learning and we let it flow. You know, it's much more casual and less, you know, stressful now because we've been doing it for many years, but it's just like anything else. If you like yoga, you have to practice. Working out, you have to practice. Eating intuitively, it's just something you need to practice. So before we close and let you go, let's talk about a couple practices and tips and tricks that you'd have for anyone that is beginning a meditation, you know, journey. How can they start? What would be the best way, you think?
Absolutely. So, I mean, you mentioned it right at the beginning. Look for an app, something that can guide you, even on YouTube, a variety of different meditations. Absolutely. Have something there. If you want something that's audio, I'm pretty sure there are audio ones available, whatever works for you. Things to keep in mind though, start your practice. And if you are getting thoughts, let those thoughts come in. Don't fight those thoughts. It's like if you're throwing a pebble in the water and you're seeing those ripples, notice the ripples and let them fade and continue forward. Just connect to your breathing, notice that breath, allow yourself to feel comfortable, prop up, because that's something else. A lot of people aren't connected to what it actually feels to feel comfortable, to what it feels to be relaxed. So start noticing these little things. Start even 10 minutes, 5 minutes, 4 minutes, whatever. Just start a few minutes and really connect, breathe, notice. Another thing that you can practice, and I don't know if you feel the need, at least at the beginning, of wanting to be repeating something in your brain, in your head, because a lot of times you've got that monkey mind, right? It's like this monkey, it's like it wants to be entertained. Give it something to be entertained. Create even a word, love, calm, and repeat that. Inhale, calm, exhale, calm. And just notice that breath. Repeat that word.
I love that. That's such an amazing idea. That's great. Yeah. Because guided meditation, I would say, I couldn't agree more, is probably your best bet to start before you jump off into, you know, the silence of meditation. It's absolutely going to be so beneficial. And yeah, let the thoughts come through. It's kind of like labeling them as well. Like, is this thought like stressful or is it peaceful? It's all about how you're going to have that internal talk dissipate each and every time you do it, right? So even if you can only do, you know, 5 or 10 minutes for the first 2 weeks, then bump it up to 15, right? Gradually do it. You know, we're not asking people to sit and meditate, you know, like the Buddhist monks for 6 hours.
Yeah.
If that's what you're called to, of course, do it.
Yeah.
So that's great.
That's right.
Simple tricks on how to.
Yeah, I think that's very helpful.
Yeah, little increments on it. Well, that's great. Well, this has been super exciting, but Daisy, I actually want to talk a little bit about your Ayurvedic certification, what you're doing, because that's really exciting. And maybe we can do a second chat about that, but give us a little bit of insight as to what this is entailing. And for anybody who doesn't know what that is, explain, because we want to hear, I mean, we know about it, but we want to hear even more about what you're doing with it.
Sure, absolutely. So I am training to become an Ayurvedic doctor, and that's going to be, I'm just completing my first year.
Amazing.
So it's still 4 more years to go, but after
well
this
worth
year,
it.
Yes, absolutely. So after completing this year, which will be this month now, I will be trained and certified as an Ayurvedic wellness counselor. So what that means is I basically can work with people on their lifestyle. And there's a variety of different lifestyle disorders is what we call them. So we're creating a lot of our diseases and our uneasiness for ourselves. So it's really looking at different rituals and routines that we can bring in terms of food, in terms of lifestyle changes. So Ayurveda is the sister science of yoga. And if we look at both, yoga, when it was first created, it was more of a spiritual practice. I know here in the West, it's a lot movement and fitness.
And westernized.
Yeah. It was more of a spiritual practice, whereas Ayurveda was more of the lifestyle practice. So really bridging those two things together.
Oh my gosh. Well, that sounds fabulous. And so in line with our philosophy. That's why we love you. Oh my gosh. So excited. We can't wait to refer clients of ours to you too. Like, you're going to be such a wonderful, addition and resource to our community. So we want to thank you so much for joining us on this, going into the meditation. Any last thoughts or anything? I feel like the only thing that I would say is encouraging people to try meditation, right?
Absolutely. Yeah. Like I said, start small.
Yeah.
Don't really push yourself. Don't force yourself, because that's the opposite of what you're wanting to seek.
Absolutely. We couldn't agree more. We want all that Zen mind and that peaceful tranquility to come through.